baby, I don't wanna do too much.
The big question.
Corruption is, in fact, is increasing more. We never heard that snake and whether python are swallowing money.
Why?
Everything has increased.
Conversational, controversial, and borderline disruptive. The big question.
Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays from 12:05 p.m. only on Women Radio.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to the big question on Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families. I hope you're doing amazing today, and I hope you're doing really well. Today we're having a very amazing session on here. This is a very enlightening session brought to you by the Sustainable Impact Development Initiative in partnership with the Gender Equality Fund. And today on Women Radio 91.7, the Voice of Women will be having a discussion on the topic that affects millions of Nigerians every single year. In fact, every single day. This particular issue affects every single person in the country, and that is malaria. But today we're going to be having a conversation about how to prevent malaria and the simple ways you can stay safe. And joining me today is two amazing, beautiful ladies, and they're going to be, driving the conversation together with myself. And I'm going to allow them introduce themselves very, very shortly. But today they're going to be sharing practical tips, insights, and community-based approach that can reduce malaria causes and also promote healthier living for every single Nigerian out there. So stay tuned, grab your notepad, get ready to learn, take action, and everything you need to do today on the show. Good afternoon, ladies.
Afternoon, Ma.
Oh, you're looking amazing. I must say.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So I'm just going to allow you to introduce yourself. So to people who are listening right now, they don't know you, what you do. Just tell us everything about you. Everything you think we need to know about you. Just tell us today. Please go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Setina Esonajo. I am a gender equality champion at SEED Initiative, and aside that, I am an entrepreneur. Thank you.
Awesome. That's really
My
good.
name is
Doing multiple things at the same time. I love it. I love independent women. That's really good. Well done. To the second beautiful lady.
My name is Olukundu Boluwatife. I'm a gender-based champion, and aside that, an educative officer. Yeah.
Okay. You're welcome. So let's dive into the conversation this afternoon. Now, what exactly do you think causes malaria, and how do people get it?
Okay, so back in uni, I used to have this friend that after washing her clothes, she usually leaves water in a bucket, and then that right there, that is the starting. Like, that water is mosquitoes' heaven. So that literally is how malaria starts. One small puddle and boom, mosquitoes multiply everywhere and start spreading the parasite that causes malaria. And also, malaria is caused by a parasite that is called Plasmodium. The parasite lives in mosquitoes. When an infected female Anopheles mosquito bites you, it injects the parasite into your bloodstream. The parasite then multiplies in your liver and causes you illnesses, right?
Okay, that's really good. So you mentioned one way by which we can, the causes of malaria. You mentioned one of them. Ms. Taiwo, can you please tell us other other causes of malaria for those listening and don't know about these things?
Yeah, so when an infected person with the parasite in the person's body, when the female Anopheles mosquito bites the infected person, the parasite, which is the Plasmodium, stays in the mosquito, and once the mosquito bites a non-infected person, the non-infected person becomes infected with the malaria, with the virus, with the parasite. And when the parasites go to the body, it goes straight to the liver and stays there for a while. Then it's spread through the bloodstream later.
Wow, that's really good. Thank you so much for that answer. Now, why is malaria still such a big health problem in Nigeria? After, the advent of civilization, we have a lot of technology, we have a lot of things. We're not supposed to be encountering malaria anymore, but you see that it's still a very frequent occurrence on a daily basis. You see someone falling sick and all of that because of malaria. Why is malaria still such a big health problem in Nigeria today?
Okay, so according to severemalaria.org, Nigeria bears the highest share of global malaria burden, roughly about 27% of malaria cases worldwide. Even though we have good hospitals and people know that malaria exists, some people still think it's normal body heat. I once met someone who said, I get malaria every month, like it's not a big deal, it's just my body. That mindset alone is still a problem. Many people don't take prevention seriously, and then they end up getting sick.
Many people don't take prevention seriously and they end up getting sick. I think it's a we problem, because many people think it's a normal thing, just like you said, and they don't take it seriously. They just feel like it's malaria now. If I take one drug, 1, 2, I'll be fine. And it's not like that. And I've heard many times that malaria actually kills people, when it is severe. Have you heard that before? Or is it true? Or it's just something people say? Is malaria capable of killing people?
Yes, it's actually life-threatening when you don't treat it.
Wow, very life-threatening when you don't treat it. Okay. Now, who is most at risk of malaria? Who are those that are most at risk of malaria, and why? So do you think it is adults? Do you think it is children, teenagers, male or female? Who are those that are mostly at risk of malaria, and why?
Children under 5 years, because their immune system is still very not strong. Pregnant women, malaria may harm them, both mother and child. Yeah.
And
So, okay.
97% of Nigerians are at risk of getting malaria, because everybody is at risk of getting malaria.
Okay, so she mentioned now that pregnant women are also very prone to malaria. So is there something in their body that is attracting mosquitoes, or are there things around them? So why are pregnant women very prone to malaria?
Because the pregnant woman is carrying a child, an unborn baby, and then if she gets infected with malaria, it's going to affect her child, and it can even lead to miscarriage in some cases.
And
Wow,
at that time,
malaria.
our immunity is actually very low and is weakened.
Wow. So an unborn baby can actually get infected with malaria.
Yes.
Well, so let's say, for instance, a pregnant woman currently has malaria. How do you think she can treat it? Because I know she cannot take the regular drugs anymore. So, what can she do to manage the situation so it doesn't affect the baby? And what do you think, apart from getting a miscarriage now, what do you think are the consequences of a pregnant woman having malaria?
Okay, so malaria, the pregnant woman can actually get infected. Like, you can use mosquito nets, that's treated mosquito nets, because in some cases they react to malaria medicine, like you said. So they can use treated mosquito nets and then tuck it very in, and then to be safe from mosquitoes. Yeah.
And they can also take malaria prophylaxis too, for pregnant women, to protect themselves and their babies, their unborn.
The unborn baby. All right. Okay. Now to my next question. What are the most effective ways for families and young people to protect themselves from malaria? Now, you've mentioned using mosquito nets. So what are other things that you think people can do to protect themselves from malaria?
Sleeping under a long-lasting insecticidal net every night, because I used to have a roommate who used to hate sleeping under nets, and then she said it felt like a cage. So one night mosquito dealt with her, feasted on her, and then the next day she said from now on mosquito net is like a night shield after that. So for young people, even if you don't have your own room, just make sure your net is properly tucked into whether a mat or a bed or whatever you're using to like sleep. And literally these days people decorate their nets with LED lights and strips for Gen Zs like us.
All right, so that means if you don't like the way it is, just decorate it the way you like. Just protect yourself. Now, okay, so how should malaria nets be used and maintained to make sure they work well? So I'm asking because when I was younger, we used to use a lot of mosquito nets, and I noticed that whenever I sleep under it, my body reacts really bad. So I either wake up feeling very itchy or having little pains here and there because of the malaria mosquito nets. Now, so how do you think people can use mosquito nets right, and also to maintain and keep it maintained to make sure that it works really well?
So when you get the mosquito net, there's always an instruction on how to use it. So you first of all spread it not under the direct sun, because when you spread it under the direct sun, it actually like reduce the insecticide that is already on the mosquito net. So you spread it under a shade for 24 hours. So after spreading it for 24 hours, ensure you tuck it in well in your mattress or wherever you want to use it, and ensure it's covered up well and there is no little opening. If you notice that your net is torn by mistake, you can just sew it and cover all openings. And don't use your net as fishing net. It's treated already, so you don't have to use it to spread beans. Don't use it for any other thing. Just use it to cover yourself.
Yes, they do.
Wow. I've never heard that before. That's surprising. Wow.
Yes, so ensure you don't use it for other things, and and if you want to wash your mosquito net, you only wash it when it's dirty, and you wash it like 2 to 4 times a year. You don't have to wash it every time because of the treatment that is on the mosquito net. So it's not just an ordinary net, it's a treated mosquito net.
Very true.
Wow, that's very good. Thank you so much. So you said 24 hours. Spread it under a shade for 24 hours, not under the direct sunlight. Okay. I'm actually very surprised that people use mosquito nets to fish. Why would you do that?
I once saw someone that used mosquito net to like dry their clothes. Like it's not a laundry. Like, why are you using it to dry your clothes? Why?
Wow.
And kids, they will want to use it to fish, obviously, because the fishes will not be able to escape through those tiny holes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Country. Wow. Okay. So what are the early signs of malaria people should look out for? The early signs, when you start to notice these things and that one, do this. Because when I was young as well, one of my sisters, I think I was drinking water a lot. And she said, it's like you will soon have malaria. So, what are the things? And I actually did eventually before the end of the day. So what are the early signs of malaria that people should look out for?
Fever often high, chills, shivering, headache, body aches, joint pain, weakness, fatigue, nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite, sometimes cough or diarrhea. Sometimes malaria doesn't start with fever. A friend once thought it was just stress from work. She had chills and joint pain and tiredness. She ignored it till she almost fainted. After testing, it was malaria. So don't vibe through it. A fever, test early. If you have fever, test early. Then if you notice these symptoms or signs, especially fever plus any of the others I listed earlier, get tested. Don't assume it is malaria automatically. Don't drink agbo, please, I beg. Go and test.
Okay. All right. So there are no other signs. Maybe very, very at the very, very early stages of of malaria. So maybe when the mosquito bites you, are there things that you start to see before you start to get feverish, nausea, and all of those things, or you wait till you start feeling feverish and all?
If your body is hot, you can actually go for the test. Like some people now, if their mouth is bitter, they'll just rush to the pharmacy and go and buy malaria medicine. you know.
And is that right?
It's not right. It is not actually right, because some people prefer self medication to normal proper going to test the regular route and then taking treatment. Some of them, I don't blame them because of cost of medicine, and they can't afford it, but it's still your health regardless, so it's not actually right to self medicate.
Very true. Now, you've mentioned why it is important for people to get tested. So it's not just because you are having headache, you just go to get malaria drug. When you are feeling feverish, you just go to get malaria drug. It might not be malaria at the end of the day. So now you mentioned, getting tested. So why is it important to get tested before taking malaria medications, instead of just buying drugs from a chemist? I already know the drugs that are good for me. As a person, I know what to take and what not to take. But why do you think it's really important for people to take tests before they take malaria medications?
So when you have fever, she mentioned fever earlier. Fever does not mean you have malaria. Do you understand? Once you're having these symptoms, it doesn't mean that you have malaria. You have to get tested first. The test will give you confirmation that yes, you have these sicknesses. And when you go to the chemist or you do self-medication, you're only harming yourself, you're wasting money. So when you harm yourself, you're wasting money, you're treating something else. Meanwhile, you're looking at the direction of malaria. Meanwhile, it can be other bacterial infection, it can be other viral infection. So you have to get tested first to confirm.
To add what my colleague said, I once had appendicitis, and then I'm staying with my grandmother, so she usually do all those herbal stuff. That's why I was like, don't take agbo and all those stuff. So I was feeling stomach pain, fever very high, my body was hot, and like she was like, okay, it's menstrual pain, I should take Felvine, I should take this. And I was like, no, it's not menstrual pain, because I don't really have menstrual pain. And then she said, okay, it's malaria and typhoid, let me go and go to the chemist and like buy malaria medicine so that you can take. She eventually bought the malaria medicine and typhoid medicine and gave it to me to drink. And when I took that medicine, my stomach, the symptoms multiplied. They had to rush me around 12 a.m. to the hospital that night, because it was very, very serious. When they got to the hospital, they told me that my appendicitis is almost ruptured. So it was like 50-50. So why that's why I'm emphasizing that if you have symptoms of malaria, please go for testing. Don't go and treat what you're not supposed to treat in the name of malaria. So please, let's be safe out there.
Yeah.
Wow. I never really knew it could get really worse like that. So please, guys, if you have any symptoms of malaria, instead of going to get drugs, just go ahead to get tested. Get tested before getting any drug. It's better you just get tested to avoid any issue that you cannot control. Thank you so much for that. I really particularly enjoyed the story that you just shared now. A lot of people can relate to that, and that was really good. Thank you so much. Now, where can young people and families go to get affordable, or maybe do we have free malaria test or treatment?
Can go to public health clinics like primary health centers, often free or subsidized rapid diagnostics tests. So
Okay, can you come again?
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you come again? Can you say that again?
Public health clinics and primary health centers often offer free or subsidized rapid diagnostic tests. Did you get that?
Okay. Yes.
So in Lagos, the pathway to malaria elimination and digitization program plans to integrate private pharmacies, patients, medicine vendors, and clinics into the public system so that testing and treatment follow standard guidelines.
Now, I've been to an hospital before and for a malaria test, and they said they don't have malaria test kits. And I know that this is very common in many Nigerian hospitals. What would you say to that? Because many people go for malaria test. You tell them we don't have test kits, or there's nothing to test you with. And because of that, many people just say, it's malaria, Jerry, and they just go to get the drugs. What do you have to say to that?
I think it's still you still have to like research, because there are some NGOs that do free testing kits. So I've not really heard of people that said that they don't have testing. I've not like I can't relate to that.
It was a rural village, actually.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere, yes.
Okay, so I can't really relate to that, but I know that there are some NGOs like Pan Africa that offer free malaria testing, Hazy Health Initiative, they offer free malaria testing, Green Life Pharmaceuticals, Green Life Hospital, health stakeholder group at Unilag. They offer free malaria testing, medicine, awareness, prevention kits during collaborative campaigns. Lagos University of Lagos and surrounding communities. So there are a lot of them, aside the ones I just listed. They offer free testing kits and medicines too in some cases.
In that kind of situation, when you go to a primary healthcare center and they tell you they don't have the drug, definitely they've confirmed, they did the test and they confirmed that you are malaria positive, then they will definitely prescribe the drug that you should use and how you use them. They would assess it, and then you go to the pharmacy. They will direct you to the pharmacy where you can get it in a subsidized price.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Now, my next question, we've seen a lot of people take malaria drugs when they feel better, when the fevering, the shaking stops and everything, they don't stop using the drug. I've seen a lot of children go to throw the malaria drug somewhere or keep it somewhere and all of that. And they stop the medication halfway. What happens when people misuse malaria drugs? You mentioned that before, but I want you to say it again. And what happens when you also stop their treatment halfway?
Okay, talking about halfway treatment, my aunt once stopped her malaria drugs halfway because she felt better. 2 weeks later, she was down again with the same malaria, same symptoms. The parasite did not die completely, so it came back stronger. Malaria drugs are like relationship. If you stop halfway, it gets messy. So the parasite may survive and later relapse. So the parasite may survive later and then relapse again. So it's compulsory for you to finish your malaria medication.
First of all, if you even stop, it's drug abuse. Why are you stopping? Just continue, because your doctor told you that you should use this drug for a particular period of time. Why did you go and meet your doctor when you know that you're going to stop at the end of the day? Just continue the drug. It's just for the meantime. It's better you continue, because once you stop, it's going to come back again stronger, as she has said. And when it comes back stronger, it becomes difficult to treat. And again, another female Anopheles mosquito will bite you and take the resistant malaria that you've already caused, and you're harming other people around
you. I can actually relate to why people would stop halfway when they're taking malaria drugs. Why are malaria drugs very bitter? I need you to answer that question for me. Why? Why are they always very bitter? They smell. Like if you are feeling fine, you are well, you're okay, you don't have malaria. If you smell malaria medications, you can fall sick. Why is it like that? Why can't they be sweet and lovely and amazing? Why do we have to go through that torture, that pain? Why?
It's because of the parasite itself. The parasite must have to perceive it too.
Because it's really bad. I can understand if people really stop halfway, but I mean, like you said, you need to finish the dose just so that everything dies completely. But do you think putting Nigerians, we look for alternatives? So you put the drug in a swallow, maybe amala or something, just to reduce the effect of the bitterness, of the medication. Do you think it will be as effective when you use it like that, or it will be less effective?
As far as you're taking the medicine and it's entering your system, it's going. Do anything that works for you. If you like, use juice.
Also, ask your doctor. So you don't use alcohol to take the malaria drugs.
Exactly, except for
that. That's actually the truth.
So someone once told me that I don't get malaria because I take herbal bitters every Sunday. I laughed because it is serious. That meat keeps me keeps people from using nets and testing. Herbal mixtures cannot kill parasites. They just marks up the symptoms, and then only proper malaria drugs can actually cure it. So that's not true. Herbal medicine, don't use it for malaria, please.
People do say malaria is caused by eating oily food or staying too long under the sun. It's not true. We've already said how malaria can be caused. It's caused by a parasite called Plasmodium, and that's when you get bitten by an infected female Anopheles mosquito. Also, people always say malaria is not a serious condition. It's part of life in Nigeria, Jerry. No, they are preventive. If you can prevent it, just try your possible best to prevent this malaria, these mosquitoes too.
Yes.
So to add to what she said, also, some people say that mosquitoes, like, they only bite the poor people because they are living in slumpy areas. I feel like there's some meat out here. I'll be like, how do you guys come up with all these things? Because mosquito no send. If you like, you're a rich man, you're down with the you know, saying you will still bite you.
All the ones that say once you have malaria, you can't have it again, my dear. If the mosquito bites you again,
you will still have it, my dear.
You still have it. That's why you just have to prevent it with all means.
All right. Thank you so much. So what will be your final words to somebody listening right now? What will be your advice to every single person listening right now about malaria?
Okay, so like for Gen Zs like us, so I feel like we should take up the challenge. Like, imagine a TikTok challenge now, no stagnant water challenge, where everyone shows their clear mosquito breeding spots around their homes. That's how we can make malaria a prevention code. Do you understand? It's not just vibes. It's just about saving lives. You know, you can be an malaria ambassadors, share accurate information on social media, school groups, WhatsApp, TikTok. You know, and then that's it.
She has actually said a lot, and with that, when you're using your mosquito net, I mean, I want you to understand that it's not old school. It's being smart. Always try to cover yourself, prevent yourself from these mosquitoes by all means. And when you should also create awareness to people, let them know, let them understand. Those that are taking their drug, encourage them, because it's not easy, to be honest. It's not easy. Encourage them to finish their drug, and
push local authorities for better drainage, environmental hygiene, and resource allocation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing valuable tips, insights, and community-based approach on how to prevent and reduce the causes of malaria, and also help us to live healthy lives as Nigerians. Thank you so much for joining me today on the show. It was a pleasure having you around. Thank you so much. This is Women Radio 91.7. You're listening to a show sponsored by the Sustainable Impact Development Initiative in partnership with the Gender Equality Fund. Till next time, where you get to hear our voice again. My name is Finfolua Kirami. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.
Thank you.
For women and their families with 91.7.
To sponsor this program, call the number 0816 480 7613.
Ndị be anyị, ihe okwu eruola o, ego na-ezo dịka mmiri ozuzo.
Better play, better chance. 200,000 naira nwere ike ịbanye n'aka gị taa.
Geekwa ntị, ugboro atọ n'ụbọchị, aha ndị mmeri ga-apụta live na redio.
Naanị 500 naira ka ị nwere ike iji merie ruo 200,000 naira kwa ụbọchị. Sonye na Better Play ugbu a ma geekwa ntị na redio mọkụ elekere 10 nke ụtụtụ, elekere 2 nke ehihie na elekere 6 nke abalị kwa ụbọchị. Aha gị nwere ike bụrụ nke akpọrọ Better Play.
egbukwala oge mee ngwa ngwa zụta tiketi gị ugbu a. Zụta tiketi gị na www.betterplay.ng maọbụ pịa *347*154#. Ịchọọ ime ka ohere gị bawanye, ị nwere ike ịzụta tiketi ruru 20.
Mee ngwa ngwa soro anyị na Facebook @betterplay na Instagram @betterplayng maka ozi ọhụrụ. Oge iji emeri ego a eruola. Ị nwere ike ịbụ onye mmeri tata. Better Play bụ naanị maka ndị toruru afọ 18 ma ọ bụ karịa. Sonye egwuregwu a n'ụzọ ziri ezi.
In a fast-paced world, it's easy to drift, lose focus, and forget yourself, your identity, and the power that lies within you. But what if you pause, breathe, reflect, reset, and redirect? Let me invite you to the second edition of the EMAP series powered by Artson Broadcast and Production Limited and supported by Smiles Radio 98.7 FM. The EMAP Series 002 has been put together to help you redirect your energy, connect with your inner self, and step into power. Join us for this life-changing and impactful seminar with the team Pause to Power, Disrupting the Drift, on the 18th of October 2025. Time 6 p.m., where Dr. Olufumilayo Akinola, a consultant addiction psychiatrist of the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, Lagos, Dr. Rotimiolu Akinlesi, Permanent Secretary and Team Lead Encouragement Initiative, and Ambrose Oluta-Ashomide will be walking you through how to get the spark back for a more purpose-driven life. You don't want to miss this session. Note that this is a virtual seminar. For registration details, call Tumishe on 0802-811-9509 or Isioma on 0808-657-0100. EMAP 002, a journey to self-discovery.
Are you looking for a place to advertise your business at affordable rates or a hall to host all your corporate events and conferences? Then don't look any further.